Hello and welcome to today's lesson. We're going to learn about the tenses. Here's a question. How many tenses do we have in the English language? We have three tenses, the past, the present, and the future. Let's talk about the easy part, which is the past. The past simple tells us about actions or events that happened in the past and finished in the past. We only have a memory of them now. For example, I went to Singapore in 2020. This happened in the past, finished in the past. I only remember it now. The thing about past simple is that you would have to put the verb in the past. This is when you'll encounter something called irregular verbs and regular verbs. Regular verbs are easy. You only add ed to the verb. Opened, dressed, climbed. Irregular verbs are very tricky. They don't follow a certain rule. For example, ran, flew, slept. They change entirely from the original verb. Can you think of any more irregular verbs? Okay, then let's move on to the past continuous. The past continuous tells us about actions or activities that were in progress for some time and not just a moment. They're usually activities that take some time, like walking, cooking, cleaning. Here's an example. I was cooking a meal for my family. We know that cooking does not happen for a moment. It takes time. And it probably was in progress, yeah, in the past. To structure a past continuous, you would need to follow this format. I, he, she said. She, it. If you use these, then you would have to use was, and then the verb ing. For example, he was washing the dishes. If you say we, they, you, then you would have to use were instead of was. For example, they were washing the dishes. Sorry, I'm in the picture, so you can't really see the full sentence. Click the button for a quick practice before we move on. Well done. Let's talk about the present, and let's start off with the present simple. The present simple talks about permanent facts and general truths that don't usually change, yeah? And they also talk about certain things we do all the time or habits. Here are two examples about myself. I live in the Kingdom of Bahrain. This is a fact that it's probably not going to change. Cool? She drinks coffee every morning is a habit. Okay? And I do it all the time, so there you go. We use the present simple for it. To structure the present simple, you only add s if you use he, she, it. For example, she drinks coffee. He drinks coffee. It meows, for example. If you use I, we, they, then you just put the verb simple, in the present simple, as you would normally would. They drink coffee. You drink coffee. I drink coffee without an S. Moving on to the present continuous. Just like the past continuous, it takes some time in the past. Well, this takes time now. The present continuous, we use it to talk about temporary things that haven't finished yet. They're still in progress and they're happening right now. For example, I'm having lunch right now. That's not true. I'm teaching this lesson right now. So that's also a present continuous. Sometimes we use the present continuous to talk about future plans that will definitely happen. For example, I'm coming to see you tomorrow. It will 100% happen. So we use the present continuous for it. Again, if you say he, she, it, then you will have to use is before the verb ing. For example, he is washing the dishes. And if you use we, they, you, then you need to use are. You are washing the dishes. Click the button for a quick practice. Moving on. This is the last tense we're going to talk about, and it is the future tense. The very, very easy tense that talks about the future. It tells us about plans or predictions or certain events that will occur in the future. They did not happen yet. For example, I will move to London next year. Did it happen yet? Nope. It's going to happen in the future. If you use any of the pronouns I, he, she, it, we, they, you, it doesn't make a difference. You would need to use will after that and then a verb in its simple form. For example, I will move to London next year. There's another way to structure a sentence using the future simple, and that is to use going to instead of will. In this case, you need to add is if you're using he, she, it. She is going to travel next year. Or if you're using we, they, you, then you need to replace the is with an are. We are going to travel next year. Okay? Click the button for a quick practice. Well done. And that brings us to the end of our lessons. Thank you for watching, and I believe you're now ready for your next activity.